Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening around the world, and welcome to our webinar. We're talking today about Trance and enabling AI and cloud-enabled captions for localization. I'm with the great team from Digital Nirvana. We've got Russell Wise. Hey, Russell.
Hey, Guy. How are you?
Very good. And I see we've also got another Russell, and we've got Ed later in the program, but we're going to start with you, sir, and I'm so glad to be here today. Hey, before we get started, I would like to give a little bit of housekeeping for those of you on the webinar. There's a couple important elements to the GoToWebinar system that we like for you to engage in. If you're having any issues, technical issues, please use the chat to communicate with our hosts today. There's a chat functionality down there. Those things can also be broken out if you are engaging in a longer conversation. And the other important one for everybody is the questions dialog box. So if you would like to ask a question of any of our panelists while they're presenting or speaking, please throw your question in the chat and we'll make sure that we address them at the appropriate time in the presentation. Well, I think today's going to be an exciting learning webinar and digging deeper into this product from Digital Nirvana. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Russell Wise. Russell's the Senior Vice President of Digital Nirvana. He's got 25 years in the broadcast industry. He was a founder of Volacon, which is a leading provider of media and intelligence and metadata logging systems, which is sold to VDMS, Verizon Digital Media, in 2015. He held executive positions over at Verizon until joining Digital Nirvana in 2019 to lead the introduction and sales of products to the media and entertainment market. Russell, welcome. How are you?
Well, doing just great, Guy. Happy to be here. Happy to be here with you. So looking forward to this.
Yeah. Excellent. So Russell, tell us a little bit about Digital Nirvana in this space. What's going on with the company. Talk to us a little bit about your direction and give us some tidbits about Digital Nirvana in the media and entertainment space.
Hey, happy to. Well, we're about 500 employees worldwide, 2 decades of experience in broadcast media. Really 2 distinct product lines. Some people know us for compliance logging, whereby we record the output of distributed content. We're looking for quality of metadata, quality of content, and really assessing the quality of captions. The second area is in post-production, production, where we've been applying AI to broadcast workflows. And that's where we'll spend our time on that today. And a little backdrop, really for the last 10 years, we have been an outsourced provider of captions and transcriptions. And part of what we'll show you today is how we applied AI to those internal workflows, meaning our workflows. But as that happened, we had customers saying, can we have your workflow? Can we use your workflow in our operation on a daily basis? And that's the genesis of this product that we call Trance. So that's how it's come to be. So.
Excellent. And Digital Nirvana, you've been there obviously for a year and some. In terms of marketplace, is how big of the focus on media and entertainment is Digital Nirvana?
It's the significant part of the business, 60–70%. Obviously we do a significant amount of work in the financial industry, the educational industry, but with customers like Turner, Bloomberg, TMZ, you know how it is in media, demanding customers. So we have a high level of focus, keeping these customers happy.
Well, localization. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off if you were going to say something. I got the video delay. Localization is a critical part of our process. We even here at Mesa, we founded a localization council that's based out of the UK. It always seems as though there are improvements almost on a weekly basis with localization products. That the idea of a global distributed workforce, the idea that we can use these more integrated products to allow us to get more ahead of the schedule. Do you want to talk a little bit about some of the localization stuff you do for some of your clients, or should we just dig right into Trance, because I know that this is the subject of the webinar?
Yeah, let me address that question, and we'll just jump right into it. Yeah, the product that we'll present today, Trance. We wanted a platform that really harnessed the power of technologies, AI, just to make it easy to use in an enterprise. And that's the key here. These are powerful technologies, but you really got to wrap it up with workflow, the right interfaces, and the right tools, so people can just jump in and make it productive. So with Trance, I mean, we really have 4 applications. We can do transcripts automatically. We can translate for localization. We can convert that into captioning. And we also have a tool called conformance, so that you can assess the quality of your captions automatically, especially when you're publishing to other platforms, Hulu or Quibi, who have style guides and are very particular about the captioning. So that is sort of the genesis and the overview of the tool. With that, I'm going to introduce our presenter, Ed Haber. Ed is a business director for Digital Nirvana. Prior to that, he was with me at VolleyCon as a founding member of the team. He led our broadcast practice. Now, the interesting part about Ed's background is that he's also a 3-time Emmy Award-winning producer and has a strong experience just in the broadcast industry itself. So with that, why don't we move forward and let Ed give you a view of what Trance does. So Ed, can you take it away?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Russell, and hello, everyone. My name is Ed Haber, and I'm excited to be with you today to introduce you to Trance from Digital Nirvana. Trance is a cloud-based, enterprise-level SaaS platform accessible via any web-enabled computer to generate automated transcripts, create closed captions, translate text into alternate languages, and export captions in any number of industry-supported formats. Trance is powered by AI and machine learning technologies to deliver greater productivity, shorter turnaround times, and improve both the speed and accuracy of the captioning process. With Trance, productivity gains of 50% and greater are achievable as compared to conventional desktop captioning applications. Seamlessly conforming to style guidelines from third-party providers like Netflix and Quibi is paramount in today's content-driven world. Configurable presets along with integrated quality assurance further improve captioning efficiency and maximize the overall process. During our time together today using Trance, I'm going to show you how to import media, create, view, and edit speech-to-text transcripts, easily create and edit captions, translate text to a secondary language and create a secondary caption. We'll also export captions in a variety of industry-supported formats. Okay, let's get started. As I mentioned earlier, Trance is a web-based HTML platform accessible via your LAN, WAN, or just a basic internet connection. I'll start by logging in at our Trance launch page. I'm logging in as an administrator, however, the process is the same for all users. Okay, so we're now logged into the Trance application, and at the top you'll see 4 main menu options. Those are Manage, Files, Export, and Preferences. Let's have a quick look at the Manage menu. Like any enterprise IT solution, Trance is fully configurable for an unlimited number of users, groups, and roles. The Manage section of the interface is where we set up and manage these and other functions. Trance is also a role-based tool. Roles define what each user can access and what each user is and is not permitted to do within Trance. In this presentation, we're not going to spend a lot of time drilling down deeply into the Manage menu. However, while we're here, let's briefly take a look at presets. In the Manage Presets section of Trance, we have the ability to define caption attributes, such as the number of lines, the line length, total number of characters, text frame gap, etc. As the name implies, a preset simply defines these and other captioning parameters so that all work done within Trance automatically conforms to these attributes. We'll see the power of presets in action throughout this presentation. Okay, now that we've had a quick look at the Manage section of Trance, the most commonly asked question at this stage is, how do you get content into Trance? And this is a great question. At Digital Nirvana, we have an elegant utility we call Media Services Portal to accomplish this task, also referred to as MSP. MSP is a media gateway that integrates directly with FTP, Amazon S3, and Avid Media Central with additional off-the-shelf integration. Digital Nirvana also offers an open API to integrate Media Services Portal directly into large enterprise media systems. Using our API, media files can move seamlessly via watch folder between third-party systems and MSP. To put it another way, using our API, users never need to leave their existing environment or create a secondary workflow process to move media into and out of Trance. This is just one way Trance saves time, elevates efficiency, and helps people get more done. Like before, we have a simple login procedure. Once inside MSP, we simply navigate to the upper right of the interface and select Add Job. We're then prompted to select the desired process from the drop-down menu and simply point to and upload our media. It's that simple. MSP will automatically upload the media into Trance and will also create a job and corresponding job ID. Media Services Portal supports audio and video files for import, as well as a vast array of common file formats. Another frequently asked question is, how long is the import and speech-to-text process? Generally speaking, content 10 minutes or less is about 1.5 times real-time. Assets between 10 and 30 minutes is in the real-time range, and content 30 minutes and longer is faster than real-time. As an example, a 3-minute clip will take approximately 4.5 minutes to process. Okay, now that we've uploaded some media into Trance, let's get to work on the job we just created. And this is where things really begin to get fun. To access the job we just imported, we go to the Files menu and select Transcription Edit. Immediately, the Transcript Edit interface opens up, and with it, a host of powerful viewing and editing capabilities. The power of Digital Nirvana's speech-to-text engine has automatically generated a highly accurate transcript of the media we just imported. This powerful technology eliminates both the time and necessity of manually transcribing content the traditional way. Automated speech-to-text in Trance delivers huge time-saving and productivity advantages over conventional captioning methods. It's also highly accurate, between 90 and 95% accurate for good quality content. We can think of the Transcript Editor as kind of like a word processor with an integrated media player. It combines the text and media, delivering an interactive text editing and media viewing experience for the user. Let's take a few minutes here to look around the transcript interface. To begin, we have the main text field, which provides a fast and easy way to view the entire transcript of the job in paragraph form. It's also an equally capable text editor to quickly make corrections and updates to the text. To the left is a powerful player window to see and hear the audio and video of the job. In this window are intuitive controls to adjust the volume of the audio, change the playback speed of the video. There's a scrub bar to easily navigate through different sections of the media. We have VTR style controls for playback and shuttling in the media, and auto scroll and auto seek options, both of which we will enable here. Now let's play a few sections of the current job so we can see the media player and the text editor working together in action.
When we go back in the session in September,
You'll notice as the media plays, the transcript dynamically updates and scrolls in real time with the video. This powerful auto scroll feature is made possible through time-referenced indexing of the media with the text. Trance also allows us to interact with the transcript and have the video dynamically update in real time. With the auto seek option enabled, we can click anywhere in the transcript and the video follows. The transcript interface also provides operators with a number of additional tools for fast and easy text editing. These include auto highlight of potentially misspelled words with a lower probability of accuracy. These are the words we see on screen currently highlighted in orange. It offers a spell check tool. There's also a find and replace word search tool. There are options for the user to adjust the typeface, the line height, and font size, all according to their preferences. Users also have the ability to highlight words which have been added, edited, and deleted. And in the Preferences menu are both a glossary of keyboard shortcuts for commonly performed tasks, as well as a utility to allow for third-party foot pedal integration. Once we've made our edits and the transcript is exactly as we want, we choose Save and Close in the upper right. Here we have the option to save as either complete or incomplete. Choosing incomplete keeps the job in the transcript domain so other team members can further edit the job, or for a manager to approve the job at a later time, if desired. Choosing complete concludes the transcript phase and sends the job to the caption edit portion of Trance. Okay, now that we've completed the transcript edit portion of this job, it's time to create the captions. To do this, we'll go back to the Files menu, and this time we'll select Caption Edit. As soon as I make this selection, you'll see the Caption Edit interface load. You'll immediately notice a great degree of familiarity between this portion of the Trance interface and the previous transcription section. The look and feel is the same as are many of the buttons and tools. What we're looking at in the center portion of the interface is the edited transcript of the text we just completed, which has now been parsed, or broken down, and indexed, or time-referenced, to the media according to the existing preset we configured in Trance. You'll recall from earlier that a preset predefines the desired caption attributes to format automatically. Trance has done all this formatting work for us in the background and saved us a tremendous amount of time in the process. Like the transcript interface of Trance, the caption edit section includes the same powerful media player, which again includes the auto scroll and video seek indexing capabilities. It also has equally powerful text editing capabilities. However, unlike the transcript section, here the text has been broken down into segments and parsed based on time references with the media, as well as the captioning presets we set up earlier within Trance. Let's play the job again so we can see how the interface responds.
When we go back in the session in September, we will be passing a bill.
With the auto scroll function enabled, we see the same behavior in which the text keeps pace with the video as it plays. With the Seek Video feature, we have the same ability to click anywhere within the text and the video player jumps to that point in time. Okay, let's make a quick edit to the captions for this job. We'll navigate over to section 6, where I believe we have one remaining misspelled word. I'm going to correct that word, about, and add the letter A right here. We can make caption edits via our Trance keyboard shortcuts, standard PC highlight, cut, and paste operations, or we can simply place our cursor where we need and retype. Now that we've made the change, let's take things one step further. I'm going to go back up to section 4 and change the number 2 to the word 2. And I'm going to do the same thing again later in the same sentence. You'll notice after my last edit, this section is now highlighted with a red border. This is an automated warning indicating we have a formatting violation we must resolve, such as total characters or line length. Now I made this last edit just to show this functionality of Trance. For the sake of time, I'm going to change this back to the original spelling. You'll notice the red highlight is now gone, indicating no more violation. These captions are now good to go. The Caption Edit interface also includes a utility on the right-hand side allowing for customizable placement of captions anywhere within the media. It also includes a spell check feature, as well as other capabilities we already covered earlier in this presentation. Another commonly asked question is, this all looks great, but can I create captions in more than one language? With Trance, the answer is yes. So let's assume I've completed all my caption edits for this job in the primary language of English. Now I want to create matching captions for this job in the secondary language of Spanish. To do this, I simply select Add Language and choose the desired language, in this case, Spanish. As we can see, Trance currently supports a total of 25 different languages. Within a matter of seconds, Trance completed a translation of the English captions to Spanish. Trance also populated the captions in a secondary edit window and indexed the captions to the media. Just like we did moments ago, we can edit the Spanish captions the same way we did the English. And just like English, we also have a spell check tool for Spanish with auto highlighting of any words Trance perceives may be misspelled. If you should want to return to seeing just the English version of the captions, we just click the right arrow button in the English column and the Spanish captions collapse and are now hidden. But don't worry, Trance autosaves all changes made and will recall the edited version should you reopen it at a later time. Like before in the transcript phase, once all your caption edits are finalized, simply choose either complete or incomplete in the upper right of the interface. I'll go ahead and select complete. At this point, there's just one step remaining, which is generating the caption files. We do this by following these simple steps. We go to the Export menu and select Projects. We select a date from the calendar tool on or before the date of the project and click Apply. From here, we locate the job ID number in the table and move to the right of the interface and select Open. The job we want to export is now open, and in the upper right of the UI, we select Generate Captions. Within a few seconds, Trance has generated the various sidecar caption files for this particular job. As I mentioned before, the caption files generated are dictated by the preset parameters established ahead of time within Trance. If we want to have a look at the caption files we just created, we have a few options. We can navigate to the left side of the interface where it says Download Captions Here and select Zip. This action will download a zip file. We can then open and examine the various caption files output by Trance. If we want to go one step further and send our completed caption files to an alternate destination other than our local computer, we can return back to the upper right of the Trance interface and select Submit Project. This action will send the completed caption files for our job back to Media Services Portal for us to access, or to an Enterprise Watch Folder destination via our API. And that's it, we're finished. During our brief time together, we successfully imported media, generated a speech-to-text transcript, edited that transcript, created and edited captions in both English and Spanish, and output caption files. We accomplished all of this work in a very small amount of time from a single cloud-based application, accessible to any user anywhere in the world. And we did it all faster, easier, and more effectively than traditional captioning applications. This is Trance, and this is the power of AI technology from Digital Nirvana. I'd like to thank everyone who attended today's presentation. It's been a pleasure introducing you to Trance, and I hope this webinar was both informative and enjoyable for each of you. At this time, I'm going to toss it back to my colleague Russell Wise to take it from here. Russell?
We cut off Ed. All right. Thank you so much, Ed. Russell, are you out there? We're getting some questions in from the crowd too.
I am here, and we can definitely tee some questions up, and thank you to the audience for those questions. The first one here is, what speech-to-text engine do you use today, and how do you evaluate and make those choices? I'm directing these questions now to Ed, if you can hear me, Ed.
I can, Russell and Guy, thank you. So great question. There are plenty of speech recognition engines in the market, but in our 15 years of experience in this space, we know there's no perfect one-size-fits-all speech-to-text engine. So at Digital Nirvana, we continually research and evaluate the leading speech-to-text engines in the market, and we identify the best performing solutions. So never being limited to any one engine allows us the greatest flexibility to provide our customers with the best performing speech-to-text engine for their specific requirements. Our machine learning applications evaluate and classify customer content based on type, language, dialects, the pace of speech, noise levels, etc., and then sends that content to the speech-to-text engine best suited to produce the best results for that particular customer.
Awesome. Some of the questions coming in from the crowd are also, so what are the languages that you do support for audio?
Yeah, again, good question, Guy. So I believe we're up to 25 different languages currently within the Trance application. Those are, and I'm just going to recite them. I don't know what the attendee was looking for, but we support Arabic, Brazilian Portuguese, Bulgarian. We support Mandarin Chinese, Czech, Danish, Dutch, English, Estonian, Farsi, Finnish. We support French, German, Greek, Hungarian, Irish, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Latvian, Lithuanian, Luxembourgish, it's new to me, Norwegian, Polish, Portuguese, Romanian, Russian, Slovenian, Slovak, Spanish, Swedish, Turkish, Ukrainian, and Urdu. That is the current list of all the languages within Trance that we support.
Excellent.
And we do have a question here about Hindi. For the question, we can talk directly. We are doing some projects now with Hindi media, so we'd be glad to talk to whoever brought that question forward. So, good question.
Sure, absolutely. And how about roadmap for other languages?
Well, I think
absolutely.
Oh, Russell, go ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah, bring them on. As Ed said, we constantly evaluate speech-to-text engines that specialize in certain languages, and we can look at those on a case-by-case basis.
Cool, cool, cool. Ed, you mentioned that the application can be helpful with generating captions for things like Netflix and Quibi, and you mentioned those by names. What exactly do you guys do there that's different?
Yeah, so good question. Let me first take the Netflix question as an example. So Trance addresses Netflix in two different ways. So for already captioned content, users can simply ingest their media into Trance. And as I think we talked about earlier, maybe in the demo, we have a captioning conformance tool or capability within Trance. And this tool will automatically output content based on preset rules or guidelines, in this case, that conform to Netflix. And so the output of the Trance application using caption conformance will automatically comply with Netflix parameters. So that's for pre-existing content. So the other application would be for creating captions for new content. So in this instance, users can set up and choose a Netflix profile within Trance, and then the content that gets ingested and moves through the Trance platform does so all the way through the entire process, from transcription to caption edit, and then it's ultimately output according, again, to those Netflix style guide parameters. Another piece of this caption conformance element of Trance is it also checks for other technical parameters such as glyphs and timecode continuity, and again, other preset preferences to make sure that they are all in line with the style guidelines for the destination this content is going to. With regard to Quibi, also cited in that question, the same really applies. Trance can generate an output file in a VTT file format for Quibi, and that can be with or without with or without positioning information, again, as required by Quibi.
Interesting. Another question from the crowd, and this goes a little bit deeper into the user experience. Can you create keyboard shortcuts for positioning caption, like roll up, pop on?
Well, there's those are built into the tool itself. I would have to get back to whether or not, I just don't know the presets well enough to know if they're built in. But there is a tool, as we highlighted in the demo, that the tool will conform to on a user by user basis and project by project basis. If it's not something that's currently built into a preset, we could always look into developing that as a preset option.
Sure. And look, moving to this cloud-based, SaaS world, right? I'm a big preacher of the platformization of Hollywood, right? For global distribution, for media and entertainment. But the real gains tend to be around productivity and efficiency and KPI, ROI, whatever acronym you choose to put on it. But what type of productivity gains are you seeing with this Trance platform with your clients out that are currently using it?
Yeah, I appreciate again the question, because it directly speaks to the importance of the tool and why it's of value to our customers. So what we typically see in usage of Trance over traditional desktop captioning applications is productivity ranges between 40 and 60% increase, again, over traditional methods. The primary means that this improvement is achieved is through, again, the speed and accuracy of our time synchronized automated speech to text. So that's one piece of it. Then when you factor in the enhanced captioning features of Trance, some of which we showed in the demo, like the presets, the captioning conformance, the advanced user interface, and the improved workflow, productivity gains can increase even beyond, again, that 40 to 60%. But that's what's very typical and common with customers using the tool today.
Cool. And another question from the crowd: can this be integrated with the compliance recorder?
There are abilities that we have at Digital Nirvana to incorporate these tools and others as media services into the Monitor IQ platform. That is the solution for compliance, logging, and monitoring. So yes, there are attributes of data migration and functionality that can exist between Monitor IQ and Trance, and then there are other again, media service elements as well that Digital Nirvana offers, and they're all designed to interoperate and interconnect with one another.
Interesting. Looking at also at your demo, Can Trance be used for processing captions like for live broadcasts and for live streaming?
Trance currently supports live transcription generation. However, currently it is not a live captioning tool. However, and this is a big distinction, the third generation of Trance, which is coming soon, will include features allowing live captioners to harness the power of the automated speech to text, do so in a very quick fashion, enabling those caption operators to perform very quick edits and then push that content back out to air or to a web stream, to an OTT stream, whatever it might be, in a matter of seconds. So that is coming in a third generation of the product very soon.
Interesting. There's an interesting question from the crowd around accuracy, and the listener is asking about accuracy for French Canadian, right? So the French spoken in outside of France, obviously.
Right.
And I'm curious, or the question is curious, how accurate is it with an audio mix that like contains SFX, sound effects and other ambient sounds in there? Can we chat a little bit about accuracy?
Yeah, absolutely. It's something we're quite proud of. Part of this answer goes back to what we talked about earlier in our speech to text philosophy, if you will, because we leverage all best of breed speech to text engines and we're not tied to any specific one. We're able to really maximize the speech to text process on a client by client basis, around all the different parameters of that client's content. So that's point number one. Number two, typically, in actual usage with customers today, for good quality content, we see anywhere between 90 and 95% accuracy in terms of the speech to text output. Of course, that's dependent upon a variety of factors and the quality of the incoming audio, but that's a general rule when we're dealing with a broadcast quality signal. Our speech to text platform is generating in that 90 to 95% range of accuracy, and that is uniform to all the languages that we support. It's not unique to English or Spanish or something that would be, say, more prevalent or more common. That's just the level of performance that our platform generally produces, again with the caveat that you're dealing with robust and reasonably accurate and broadcast quality audio.
Sure. Another kind of practical question: is there a maximum length for media that you can upload in it?
No, not at all. We have clients who are doing short form, small project type of jobs, as we like to call them in the tool, and then we have clients that are submitting hour-long, assets for captioning or longer. So no, there's no limit to the length of upload or the duration of the content.
Cool. And please keep your questions coming in out there. What if you need to translate the same content into more than one language?
Yeah, it's a great question, and as I think we saw in the demo, it's entirely possible using Trance. It was built to do just exactly that. So as we demonstrated in the demo, we translated captions originating from English and converted them or translated them to Spanish. So the same thing can be done in multiple languages. In fact, an attendee earlier asked, what those different languages were, and I recited, I think, all 25 of them. So you would repeat the same process, just like we did with the English to Spanish translation. You would simply, again, click this little plus symbol in the captioning UI and then choose the language from the pop-up that occurs that you're prompted to select. You select that alternate language of the 25, and then once that's complete, just like we did in the demo, the various output format files generated, whether it be English and Spanish or English and French or English Canadian French or Arabic or whatever it might be, are then output and downloadable, again, as we demonstrated. So yes, it's a great question, and yes, we can absolutely do it.
Excellent. And then I know we targeted this for 45 minutes, which also I think is also thank you, right? Because we're all with our packed, online schedules now these days. But another quick question from the crowd. So can you handle tonal languages?
I'm not entirely sure I understand the question. If it's something that would be in question, What I would suggest to the attendee, and I appreciate the question, I'm sorry if I'm giving an indirect answer. If it's something we would need to look at, we would simply want to get a sample of that asset so that we could, evaluate it and run it through the platform, and maybe that would be the most accurate way to address the question. I'm not sure I understand the nature of it, but again, as we talked about earlier, we're a very nimble, agile company. If there's something we don't support, in this case, a type of language, then we would want to get a sample of that asset and then work to develop the Trance platform to support it.
Oh yeah, there's a couple of categories and classifications coming in through the chat. But I think what's important there also, and this really speaks to SaaS and platform development, is the idea of you listen to your clients, you listen to your customers, and you analyze the feasibility of what they're asking for. And if it roadmaps in, it's a benefit for not only that client, but for all the users moving forward. I think that's part of that platformization speech. Another quick question from the crowd: is it mandatory to have English first and then converted to other supported languages, or I know that's an outlier. Okay.
Not at all. You can start with whatever type of content, whatever language that content originates in, and go from there. So no, good question, but absolutely not. It's bi-directional in any way.
Cool. And Russell, I didn't know if you wanted to also pop in, from the business development perspective as well. We could also ask a very topical question around this, because ultimately, the idea of how we all work together in this global ecosystem is coming to the forefront as we see some of the impacts from the pandemic. Is this something also that, of course, you don't want to be opportunistic in times like this, but at the same time, when you have tools such as this that seem to be pretty fluid and easy to adopt, easy to use, how did that grow? How's that growing your business outlook in terms of where and who you're looking to work with throughout the world?
Yeah, it's a good question. This tool has the ability to work with small operations, 1, 2, 3 people, yet at the same time it scales to an enterprise wide of hundreds of people using the tool, either in the enterprise or external, working from home. Very easy to use. In terms of evaluating tool, once again, it's easy to deploy. So for those people on the webinar, we'll give you a contact point whereby if you have other questions, we can answer, or if we need to, based on your need, set up a time for you to trial the system to see if it fits. And going with that, if you find things as you test it that you need additional features to increase your productivity, as every workflow is slightly different in the broadcast industry. So we're very adept at understanding those differences and working with you to somewhat customize the system to what you're needing. So that's just how we work here.
It's great. It's great.
Given that, thank you, Guy. This is a wonderful session. We want to thank the folks attending. Can you move to the next slide? And I do want to just give you a marketing contact and some phone numbers. This is recorded, so we can obviously send you a copy if friends have missed it, and or contact us directly, and we can answer any questions that need further elaboration, and or talk about how you can start testing the product and validating it for your type of operation. So that said, Guy, thank you for hosting. Ed, thank you for the overview of Trance. And thank you, audience. And we look forward to hearing from you as soon as you'd like to talk to us.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Russell. Thanks, Ed. And we look forward to seeing you on the next Mesa webinar. Thanks, everybody, for joining.